Hello and welcome back to the Spider's Web, and in this video we're continuing with the ruined townhouse sets from TT Combat. It's a 15mm set that is ideal for Flames of War, which is the reason why these videos are incorporated in with the Flames of War whatchamacallit, oh god, I'm including him in the series. Right, so the paints I'm actually showing at the moment are the ones I'm using. I'm just doing this so I can keep track a little bit easier of what I'm doing, but don't worry, because don't be too concerned on what paints to use. Use whichever colours you want for this. This is one of those projects where whatever you choose to use is the right colour, basically. So the way we're starting off, this is one of the 4 ruined buildings. I have actually done the other 3 and I'll show you those later on, but as I said, we're doing this one and we're going to make it a burned out building basically, but we do want to add some colour to it before we start adding the burnt out effects, and we're just doing a very dark colour for the base. This is going to be the floor and it will have seen a lot of action, so I'm doing it like a rough, like a tile effect, a tile colouring, not necessarily the pattern, but just the look to just to make it look as though it could have been tile that has been in there or some such. So as I said, we're doing a completely dark colour just because, as I say, it's going to be a burnt out building. So making sure it's an even coat all over. It's MDF, so it can look a little patchy. I mean, it's not essential that you get this really straight because we are going to be coming back with other colours later on. But if you can get it even now, fine and dandy. It has been primed with Halford's acrylic grey primer. I've done no highlighting with this. By highlighting, usually spray it with a grey and then just give a dusting over of white at the top. I don't think I did it with this, but I'm using a similar colour that I did in the last video for the exterior wall. It might be a different shade. The mix isn't essential to get right, to become accurate, as long as it looks like it's a building that's had some rendering on the outside that could be discoloured with age. You know, that's the effect we're looking for. And as you can see as well, I'm not really too bothered about the paint. If it runs and streaks a little bit, it's all going to add to the finished effect. And you're not going to see much of this paint anyway, but I just want to have that layer so we've got something to work with later on. And look how those cracks show up now that I've put that colour over it. If you're using a brush, you could wash those out. With this airbrush, it's going on wonderfully. The engraved parts to show brickwork and cracks and things like that just work wonders. It's a lovely way of painting these minis. So these terrain pieces rather. But if you don't have an airbrush and you want some, don't worry, just use a brush. Again, like the last time, we're going to use mahogany for the wood areas. As you can see, there are wood floorboards sticking out of that upper floor, and we're going to use mahogany to show that those are wood. But as you'll see later on, this may be a little overboard because you're not going to see much of that mahogany colour. But into the mahogany colour we're going to add some red, just for the brickwork, because as I said in the last video, I do like the red brick effect. And with this, if you get some overspray onto that creamy yellowy colour, again, don't worry about it. It's going to get a lot darker before we finish this one. Yeah, so go over on the brickwork in this nice brick red colour. I mean, I may have made it a little too brown, this particular mix, but as I say, it doesn't matter. It's not essential that you get it perfectly right. You know, just the fact that you've got some colour on is all that matters. Because I don't want, in later stages, any of the brown showing through, because that's not brown, grey showing through, because that's not the effect we're looking for. We're trying to get this looking as though it is a building rather than just a bit of MDF that's been spray painted. So again, we're going over all the brickwork, and as you can see, there's not a roof with this, so I'm going over the top of the top edges as well, and around the outline of that apex that would have the roof on. I do like this set, it's a really nice set. I haven't started on the proper townhouse models yet, but I will be doing a video on those in the near future, because there's something I want to add to them that I haven't done with these, and it's going to make them look a little different. But there again, saying that, those houses are, you know, full townhouses, so there's going to be a mix and match of these. They're probably not all going to be on the table at the same time. So you've seen the mix I'm going to be using, or the paint I'm going to be using for the interior walls. Unfortunately, it's also where I decided to lower the position of the building to make it a little closer to me for some reason rather than on camera, and you've missed quite a bit of it, but I'm doing a dark, very dark blue on the bottom of the model, as you can just about see there. And now we're going to add a little bit of light green into that blue, because I want to make it like an aquamarine kind of colour for the top. That's a little too dark, so we're going to add a little more of the green. And how's that? Yep, that's perfect, just what I wanted. So we'll blast over the walls with that. And as you can see, I'm going down to the blue, but I'm not trying to do like a mix and a blend with the blue, and you'll see why a little later. And you can also see I'm not spending a lot of time at the windows. I'm just painting the walls and making sure they're covered, because if I remember rightly, this is the time we get the black on the go, and this is where we're giving the burnt out look of the building, and we're covering quite a bit of this in black, just leaving some of the colour showing. And I'm making sure with the windows that I'm covering all the frames. I didn't do that with the last one, but with this I'm making sure that every part of the frame rather is black. And as you can also see, as I'm doing the windows, I'm making sure that there's black around the windows, all over the frames, and then I just go upwards with the black, because in case you hadn't noticed, when the house is on fire and it's coming through the windows, it's going up, it's not going across, so you're going to get the smoke and the soot stains on the outside of the house or building, going upwards. Didn't have quite enough black in there, so I had to add a little bit more, and we're just patching up some black areas here and there, and just having some fun with the black, darkening this up really well, because let's face it, as I say, the state of the building, if this was on fire, it would be black. At least I think it would anyway. But as you can see, some of the paintwork is showing through. Now to highlight the black, I'm using some of the dark grey blue, and it gives a nice greyish tint to it. I'm not going all over, I'm just going near enough in the middle. So we're going to have this look in the middle of the black areas going upwards, and that will allow the black to the side to make it look as though it's just dirty and soot covered. And we'll do it on the inside as well. I'm sorry you can't see what I'm doing there, but I'm just doing, it's a bit awkward to get into that little corner on the front. So it's light brown now, and this is where I add a little bit of highlight to the pale areas on the external walls, and just watch what I do at the cracks in what will be like the rendering, because I make them stand out, really stand out. But I'm going over the corners of the house. There you go. See how much do those cracks stand out now that I've put that brightness over them. And as I say, on the corners get a blast in, and a few other areas just to take away on that darkness, because we want to make it a nice contrast. And a little bit of dark earth goes into that mix now, and because there's light coming down, we're going to add a touch of brightness to the inside of the onto the base area, and going down to the through the door. Oh, sorry, not through the doorway. It's through that great big gap in the wall. And it's just to add a little touch of interest and an extra tonal value. But here we are, I'm showing you all the buildings that we've done so far, and they're all painted slightly different. And I really enjoy doing these. And this one I've glued in so it looks as though it's ready for falling down. And they're the two buildings that I did, one of which was the one we did in the last video. But that's it for this video. I hope you've enjoyed it. So join us for more Flames of War soon. Until then, stay safe and take care, God bless, and bye for now.